the 354th Medical Group. I'm Kay Nissen here with the medics and a little bit of ambiance from the jets that are taking off right now. But we're here to talk about something very important. Today with us is Colonel William Toms, the 354th Medical Group Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Tracy Brannick Bennett, the 354th Medical Support Squadron Commander, and Major Trevor Peterson, the Chief of Medical Staff. To start off, we'll let Colonel Toms introduce himself. Sir, welcome to the show.
Excellent. Thank you for having us. First of all, let me thank the Allison community for the warm welcome as I took command on July 8th. It was very nice. But as we transition our med group forward, I brought in our subject matter experts, Lieutenant Colonel Tracy Brannick Bennett, who has been working this project for several months before I arrived. So I'm going to let her go ahead and do the introduction and the information.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. So just a general background. In February 2019, the Secretary of the Air Force actually directed that the Air Force Surgeon General reform the Air Force Medical Service to restructure a lot of our MTFs to support initiative to improve combat readiness and lethality across the whole Air Force. And so just this past May, they actually told us to go ahead and do that transition by 1 October. So we're going ahead and moving forward on that. So readiness continues to be our top priority, and we will focus that as we move forward. So by reforming our medical group, this actually enhances our ability to proactively manage active duty care and improves personnel availability, readiness, and deployability. So it helps us to also more actively leverage our personnel to better capture what the unit commander's priorities are. So in the medical group, okay, we're going to be organized a little bit differently. And what that means is we're going to be changing the way that we impanel our patients. So all of the active duty personnel will be aligned under one squadron, and all the non-active duty will be under another squadron. And so we're reorganizing just a little bit different. So what will not change is the way that we deliver our care. We continue to strive to provide the best trusted care possible. So as of 1 September, there may be some changes. Most of it's going to be transparent, behind the scenes, a lot of movement within the medical group. But we have been directed to kind of move some people around. So some people may see a change in their PCM. So we're going to actually stand up a warrior medicine clinic, which all the active duty personnel will be moved under, except for our flyers. They're going to stay in flight medicine. We're going to stand up a family medicine clinic as well, which all of the non-active duty personnel will be impaneled, which would be spouses, kids, retirees. So what that means, we also have to split up some of our providers. And so in the coming weeks, some people may receive a notification that their PCM has changed. And you'll receive that notification based on how your notifications are listed in TRICARE Online, whether you want via postcard or via email. You'll receive that notification that way if your provider changes. So the Warrior Medicine Clinic, since it's active duty only, will continue to strive to maximize same-day access for active duty personnel and to try to keep the time out of the unit as little as possible by providing things like sick hall. So, big picture, okay, the changes are driven by the need overall in the Air Force to really improve our readiness culture. So we're going to reorganize our medical group just a little bit to enhance our ability to proactively manage airmen's care, provide airman availability, and rapidly restore the readiness and deployability of all of our squadron forces. So that's really what we've been charged to do. It's a pretty big feat. We have a pretty short timeline to do that. And so we're just excited to move forward.
Awesome. So I know there's a little bit of jet noise there, but what I'm understanding, ma'am, is that as an active duty member who has a PCM right now, in the next few weeks, I might get an email saying that that's going to change.
You might, depending. Okay. So because we are limited on the number of providers we have, we actually have to split up into those two clinics. So if that provider that you have happens to move over to the dependent care only, your provider may change, and vice versa.
Got it. Okay. And for all of these changes directed by the Air Force, right? Not a local initiative saying we felt like doing this, but kind of for the betterment of all Air Force plans.
Correct. The Secretary of Air Force actually ruled this out across pretty much all of the MTFs. Some of the bases that were overseas were falling in line a little bit later, which is why we're kind of toward the tail end of this.
Awesome. Cool. Well, there might be some more questions, I'm sure, coming from dependents and retirees and other active duty members. We're gonna take a quick break here to answer some questions. So for those of you who are listening at home, please post your comments, or your questions rather, in the comments box that's attached to this show. And we'll be in standby to answer your questions. So we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the 354th Medical Group Town Hall, where we are talking about the reorganization of our local clinic. That change is coming up here pretty soon. We're here with Colonel Toms, Lieutenant Colonel Brannick Bennett, and Major Peterson to answer questions. I'm Kay Nissen as the host. So we did see a few questions come in, and I just wanted to clarify, this is not a COVID update for the wing. I know that's usually what you're used to for these town halls, but we're here to talk about the reorg. But we'll make sure that we answer your questions and comments, but for now, let's talk about this reorganization. I saw that we had a question from Jeff Skaggs about guardsmen provider care. Major Peterson?
Yeah, great question, Jeff. There will be nobody disenrolled from the MTF as part of this reorganization. So all beneficiaries who are currently getting their primary care at our MTF will continue to get their primary care at our MTF. That includes our Air National Guard partners, but I will distinguish that we're talking about our active Guard partners. The traditional Guardsmen who come up on weekends typically are not enrolled to our MTF, but do utilize our facility and services when they're here doing Guard drill on the weekend.
Awesome, great. So we have a few other questions that we had gotten from previously, which was, will anyone, if I'm enrolled at Bassett Community Hospital, will my PCM change to Eielson Air Force Base?
It's a good question. No, If you're enrolled at Bassett Army Community Hospital, you can continue to be enrolled at Bassett Army Community Hospital if you're a dependent or a retiree. We will not be forcing people to change the installation in which they're enrolled to. That being said, active duty personnel under rule are to be assigned to the MTF assigned to their unit. And on occasion, when you enroll to an MTF, wires get crossed, and some of our active duty may have accidentally been impaneled to Bassett Army Community Hospital. If we find those individuals on accident in the process of moving our impanelments, there's a chance that some of our active duty members could get moved back to our MTF so that we can provide care more proximal to where you work. But outside of that, dependents and retirees enrolled to Bassett won't be affected by this transition at all.
Great. I saw a question pop up from Bailey Hodek saying, so we will still be able to be seen on base. I'm assuming that's referring to the guardsmen and other non-active duty members.
Correct. So all non-active duty or currently getting their primary care on base will continue to get their primary care on base. It may change subtly with which clinic you go to. All dependents, retirees, and children will be seen in our primary care clinic, our family health clinic, which will be staffed by a pediatrician, a family health physician, and a physician's assistant. But if you're currently getting your care on base, you can continue to get your care on base. There are no plans to disenroll anybody as part of this reorganization.
Excellent. And I saw we were talking about dependents here. So if I'm a dependent and I'm enrolled in flight medicine, will my PCM change? I know flight med is always a little bit different from the regular clinic.
Yeah, good question. So it will. Historically, in a lot of our Air Force flight medicine clinics, the dependents of flyers have been seen in flight medicine. However, this will change as part of the reorganization. So dependents of flight medicine enrolled active duty will be enrolled to our family medicine clinic at this reorganization.
What if you don't want to change?
Great question.
I know my wife is particularly fond of her doctor, and she would probably be the first one to call a med group to stop this. So is there a process there?
Absolutely. And as a family physician at heart, I understand that continuity is the cornerstone of quality care. And believe me, we do everything we can to maximize your continuity with your care team. That being said, what we're asking of our beneficiaries at this point is to try to establish a relationship with your new PCM. We understand that disruption of that clinician-patient relationship is often uncomfortable and less than ideal. But unfortunately, this change is coming, and we're going to embrace it. I strongly believe that all of our clinicians within the 354th Medical Group can provide you that quality patient-centered care. If you have concerns about the care you're getting at the 354th Med Group, we want to hear from you. We will take your concerns and your comments and your suggestions through the ICE system, through the patient advocate system, both of which can be accessed through our medical group application on, I think, iPhones. And so please send us those. If you give us your name, we're happy to get back with you personally. If it's an anonymous comment, we'll strip it of any personal health information and post it to the Facebook site.
I think just one more time for our listeners, with PCM changes happening, how are dependents notified of their PCM change?
Yeah, so you'll be notified based on your preferences listed in TRICARE Online, and I believe it's the beneficiary web enrollment app. So when you enrolled to our clinic or enrolled with TRICARE, you selected a communication preference, and that could be email, snail mail, and I believe text message is an option. And so with those changes, you'll be notified based on your preference that you've listed at TRICARE Online. If ever you just want to confirm where you're at and what's been changed, you can log on to TRICARE Online and look at your PCM that you're enrolled to. Come September, easily by the third week of September, it should be updated to reflect your new PCM.
Awesome. I just saw a question pop in from Elise Wise, and she's asking, when will we be notified of the PCM changing? I guess, and to further that, if you're not having a PCM change, are you notified, or is it just you get no notification?
If you don't have your PCM changed, you won't receive any notification. You can go online to TRICARE Online to confirm who you're impaneled to, but you'll likely not receive an active notification that nothing's changing. The timeline of the transition, we are hoping to make this transition in the first half of the first half of September. I don't know how long it takes for the system to update those changes. I don't think it's particularly long.
It's about 24 hours.
It could take a few more days if it's going by snail mail. I don't know how long that takes to get mailed out, but certainly by the third week of September, everybody should have received their notifications. And if you haven't and you're wondering, I encourage you to log on to TRICARE Online.
Excellent. So we're going to take a quick break here. I see a few more questions popping in, but we'll catch up here really quick. So thanks for all the questions. Keep them coming. Again, this is the 354th Medical Group Town Hall, where we're talking about the reorganization that's going on at our clinic. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. to the 354th Medical Group Town Hall. I'm here with Colonel Toms, Lieutenant Colonel Brannick Bennett, and Major Trevor Peterson, these awesome medics who are guiding us through the reorganization that's coming up for our clinic here. So we saw some more questions pop in. I saw specifically from Lauren Jordan, she was wondering if we can still enroll in the clinic in the next 2 weeks if we're arriving. Do you have any info on that?
Yeah, great question. I should have been more specific. So not only are we not disenrolling any beneficiaries, we are not restricting any dependents from enrolling to the 354th MTF. So if you're coming in to join us here in the coming weeks, we're happy to have you be part of our primary care clinics.
Awesome. Saw another question pop in from Bailey. She was wondering if we already have an appointment next month when all this changes is going to be happening. Will that change her appointment? Will she have to rebook it?
You shouldn't. We're doing our very best to make sure we don't have to rebook anybody. There is a small chance that if your clinician has shifted over to a different clinic, we may transition that appointment to a new doctor. but we're doing our very best possible to not allow that to happen. If for some reason the time of your appointment has to change, and I don't foresee this happening very often, we will call you to let you know of that change.
Great, and let's say, we're getting lots of good questions here. You guys made yourselves available, but, after this, maybe people will have questions, concerns that come up while they're going through their medical care. Who can people contact actually to get additional information on these changes?
Absolutely. I encourage everybody to get the Medical Group app. On there, there's a link to our Icebox. We absolutely take comments and questions there. You can also contact any patient advocate. The link for that is also on our MedGroup app. And you can post questions to our MedGroup Facebook. If you want more information on this, we're happy to give it to you. We're trying to be as transparent as possible in this reorganization.
And I just wanted to clarify, the ICE app, is that only on Apple products or is that on other?
So the ICE system is actually publicly available just on any internet service for the entirety of the 354th Fighter Wing and the Air Force. So it does not have to be on an Apple product or anything. We just have a link to it from our app.
From your app, got it. Okay, so if I Googled 354th Medical Group ICE comment, I could probably find it?
Yeah, if you Google ICE, U.S. Air Force, ICE, 354th Fighter Wing, I'm sure you're going to be able to find it on Google.
Excellent. Another question, is there a change in the way referrals and other services like the lab and pharmacy will work?
Yeah, good question. And actually, there will be no changes to the TRICARE benefit here at Eielson. So any beneficiary wanted to use our lab, our lab and our pharmacy will continue to do so. The way referrals get processed through the MTF for prime beneficiaries won't change either. So that should be a seamless transition with regard to sort of the ancillary services around the med group, like lab, pharmacy, and referral management.
Great. I see a question coming in from Elise. Are you able to share with us which providers will be for the dependents? I'm also curious at this one too.
I'm happy to share. We're trying to be as transparent as possible. So our family health clinic will be staffed by Dr. Heydrich and Captain Jones, currently of the Family Health Clinic, as well as Dr. Bonzo, our new pediatrician who just onboarded in the weeks before now. Our active duty clinic will be staffed by our current flight medicine clinic, and our warrior operational medicine clinic will be staffed by Dr. Fred Nielsen, who is new to the base, and Captain Petrick, who is currently in Family Health Clinic.
Okay. I feel like we just got the skinny there, and I'm tracking. It might change, or are you guys feeling pretty good about that?
Those assignments are pretty well fixed at this point. What I don't know for sure is how many more clinicians will be onboarding in the year to come. We may add staff as the year goes on, depending on what the manning for the Air Force looks like.
Great. How does this impact and this overall change actually, if we can just dig more into non-active duty members? So how does, just specifically for, I guess, dependents and also retirees?
Sure. So I really hope that our dependents and our retirees will see very little change to the quality of care that they receive at the Med Group. I firmly believe that all of our staff are prepared to care for our beneficiaries. What I do think will be the result of this is that we will develop specialized teams that specialize in the care of the active duty member and teams that specialize in the care of the beneficiary, allowing increased efficiency within our own internal process to benefit all of our patients. So my dearest hope is that over the next year, what all of our beneficiaries experience is an improved access, improved quality of care coming out of the 354th Medical Group.
Awesome. I'm not seeing any more questions pop in, so I think we'll get ready for another break here. Please keep the questions coming. I feel like we're getting a lot of good information here from the medics. You're listening to the 354th Medical Group Live Digital Town Hall. We'll be back right after this. 354th Medical Group Live Digital Town Hall. We're into our last segment here, and I see some questions have rolled in. Here still with Colonel Toms, Major Peterson, and Lieutenant Colonel Brannick Bennett. So it looks like the theme of our last segment is going to be about pediatricians. From Amber Morley, she was wondering if there are more pediatricians now that a new one has arrived.
No, so we still have one slot for pediatrician at Eielson Air Force Base. Our longstanding pediatrician, Dr. Amy Vagadas, separated from the military this summer, and we've just onboarded our newest pediatrician, Dr. Bonzo, who we're excited to welcome to the team.
Excellent, and I know I saw someone mention Doc Heydrich is also seeing children, and so that begged the question of, is he still going to be able to see children even though he's not the assigned pediatrician?
Yeah, great question. So the truth is that while we only have one pediatrician at Eielson Medical Group, we have more children than one pediatrician can manage single-handedly, and so we have historically enrolled a number of children to family medicine, and we will continue that practice. And so a number of children will still be enrolled to family medicine. This has historically been at the parent's preference, and that'll continue to be the case. So if you are a parent and have children currently enrolled to Dr. Heydrich, you will be able to keep Dr. Heydrich as your child's PCM.
That's good news for us. That's awesome. Well, as we're into the last segment here, I want to do a quick recap on what the actual changes are again. So, Colonel Brannick Bennett, if you can just correct me, I'm going to see if I actually remember everything you guys just said. So for me, takeaways, clinic is changing, starting emails maybe in September. Everyone should be notified by the third week of September if your PCM has changed. The squadrons are going to be renamed, one for dependents and retirees and one for active duty military or warrior care. I think that's all I can remember. Is there anything else I'm missing as far as what this reorganization is going to look like?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to really just focus on improving combat readiness and then continuing to just provide the trusted care that we strive to do.
Awesome. Okay. And Colonel Toms, you have the honor, sir, of last words on this digital town hall.
Well, I want to thank everyone for dialing in or asking the questions. It's important that we take the time to try to alleviate some stress in this reorganization or transition. This transition is one that's been going on across the Air Force for the last year and a half, and it has proven successful in improving our airmen's readiness to meet our nation's call, while simultaneously taking care of our airmen and their families by delivering that trusted care that you all have come accustomed to. So I'm sure there's more questions out there, so please just share with your neighbors, discuss your thoughts, and post those questions up on the 354th Medical Group app through the ICE, and we'll get back, we'll review those, we'll sanitize any private information that's in there and post those out there so others may have that same question, can learn from that as well. And I appreciate your time.
Great, thank you. So this comes to the end of our medical group town hall. We will still be taking questions, comments, and obviously we'll ask the med group for help in anything that pops up here, and we'll definitely keep answering the questions there. Thanks for tuning in. If you knew anyone who didn't get to tune into this, please share this video so that people can be informed on the upcoming reorganization. That's all for today. Thank you and stay healthy.